Hey everybody, this is me bringing you a new video today. This is going to be just a quick video about my new subject today, which is going to be off topic from wrestling. Today, I'm going to be talking about why the Hollywood business isn't like it used to be. I'm just going to go into brief details of what I think about the Hollywood business now and why I think the Hollywood business was good back in the 90s and then some part in the early 80s, and just explain my reasons why. So let's get started with this video. As you know, the Hollywood business now, it's all about your Lindsay Lohans and your Miley Ray Cyruses and stuff like that. And back then something like this probably wouldn't have gotten over as huge as it was then, because many people will be focusing on the big name stars like Julia Roberts or like younger stars, and they wouldn't be focusing on a 15 year old who really is kind of brainwashing girls as it right now. Because brainwashing girls to the point where girls are starting to believe all in this junk and starting to follow in this girl's footsteps. And in my opinion, Hollywood back then wouldn't have been like what it was, where you would have girls and people get brainwashed by somebody and just have somebody shoved down your throats. And that's pretty much what we're getting here. Also, back then, movies used to be creative. Many people always put thoughts into movies, and they would always have new ideas for movies. And it'd be so easy to come up with an idea, and then when you came up with a movie idea, you just put it out there, and it'd be something new and something unique. Example: when I forgot who the producers who made The Matrix, I believe it was the Wachowski brothers or whoever, when they made that movie in 1999, it was something new, it was something different, it was something unique, it was something that the movie business really hadn't seen before, because they were using effects in The Matrix that most movies haven't really used yet, so it was kind of ahead of its time. I mean, they were doing stuff that most movies really weren't even really trying or even attempting. And now when you look at Hollywood now, they're starting to overuse that effect that they used in The Matrix. They're starting to overuse that in most of the movies, and then movies now are starting to overuse or overdo some of the ideas that were done like way back then. So you're pretty much seeing the same recycled formula that you saw back in the 80s or in the 90s, like that movie Obsession. For some of you who aren't familiar with that movie Fatal Attraction, to me, Obsession is sort of like that movie Fatal Attraction. So they kind of borrowed, it's kind of like a recycled movie. It's kind of recycled from an old movie from back then. The only difference is you got Beyonce and then Ali Larter, whatever her name is, and some other guy. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that. It's just Hollywood has gotten more lazier compared to what they were back then. I mean, back then they always had fresh ideas, they always had new ideas, and now Hollywood's just gotten lazy now to the point where they just put out crap and put out recycled material. The other thing of why Hollywood isn't like what it used to be, you got all these stars or supposed stars who really are like celebrities now, and they really hadn't done anything. And the ones that I'm talking about are Kim Kardashian and Tila Tequila, and then some of those other people who really only got famous for one thing, and now all of a sudden they're big time celebrities. Back then you wouldn't really see things like that. Yeah, someone would be famous and they'll have their 15 minutes of fame, and then of course people would just forget about them, and then they wouldn't be considered a celebrity. But now in today's Hollywood, when you see someone do something and get famous, they're just all of a sudden big time. Like Dana Cook and Tila Tequila and Kim Kardashian, like what I said before, these people are still famous and they just can't get away from the public, and that's really what's so different now about how the Hollywood business was back then as to what it is now. As back then, like what I was saying, someone got their 15 minutes of fame, they did something, and then a couple weeks later they'll be forgotten. But now if somebody does something, they'll just keep being remembered, and then all of a sudden they're a big name, they're up there with all the A-list celebrities. And to me, that's not right, because there's bigger name celebrities than these so-called celebrities. And that's pretty much what my opinion about this is. It's just Hollywood was good back then. I mean, you had your actors who can act, actresses who can act. They never got overlooked. You even had the underrated actors and underrated actresses. You always had them. They always got looked at more than the ones who couldn't act. And now all of a sudden, now it's all about the ones who can't act and the ones who can't. And the actors and actresses who can't act, they're all of a sudden getting looked at, and they're getting the big name parts. And the big name actors and actresses who can act are getting all these small parts and being put in like really bad movies, while the ones who can't really act are being put in the real good movies. And it's like, what's up with that? But I will never figure out why. I will never figure out this Hollywood in day and age, and that's pretty much why I made this video. It's just Hollywood needs to get back to where it was before. Yeah, Hollywood needs to get back to where it was before, where things started making sense and fresh ideas were being thrown out there in Hollywood, and not this Hollywood in a day and age where everything is getting recycled and now people just don't care anymore in Hollywood. I mean, we need to get back to where it was back then, but apparently we won't. So we'll just get this new Hollywood where things are being shoved down our throats, and that's a shame, because these kids kids in this era, or young adults in this era, or young kids or young teenagers in this era, they need to know how Hollywood was back then. They don't need to remember Hollywood now, how it is now. But apparently they'll never get that chance, because Hollywood will never go back to what it was before. But yeah, that's just giving you a quick video about why Hollywood isn't like it was before. Just giving you reasons and my opinions and everything about why Hollywood needs to go back to what it was before and get away from this new era of what Hollywood is now. Hope you like my video. You can rate, you can comment, you can give me a video response on this topic if you like. I want to hear what some of you guys got to say. And until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to upload another video for you tomorrow or whenever I get another chance to upload another video. Till then, thank you for watching. Remember to rate, remember to comment down there. I want to hear what you guys got to say. And until then, thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.